It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is news that you can use for Wednesday, May 29th, with your host, me, Ray. One-Eyed Ray is what some people refer to me as today. And my dear son, Zach. How are you this morning, handsome? Even with bad, blurry vision, you still look mighty good.
Thank you, Pops. Really appreciate that. Really feel for you with what you've got going on with your eye. Ooh, good looking watch. We'll have to do watch time at the end of today's show. Today's show is brought to you by us, folks, CarEdge.com. We have 3 days, 11 hours, 59 minutes remaining in our end of month promotion. If we can help you out with our car search, car buying service, car buying tools, the sell functionality, so you can sell your car and get the most money for it, or warranty and protection products, please let us do that. Check it out, CarEdge.com. Dad, Stellantis, are we going to see another bailout, man? Are we going to see another bailout of a U.S. automaker? The third senior executive in as many weeks to leave the U.S. operations. Now the customer experience chief resigning this month. This comes on the heels of the CEO of Dodge Ram for the United States retiring. So he wasn't fired. He retired, as well as the U.S. sales leader. He left after 3 months. Dad, are we going to see bailout 2.0 for another automaker because they can't sell their cars? They have too much inventory. They're going to end up losing money, the UAW contract. Or did I just come up with some sort of crazy headline and Stellantis is actually A-okay? Or are the executives leaving a big deal?
Well, I think the executives leaving is a big deal. If there is a bailout, perhaps it'll come from the French government. I don't think it's going to come from the U.S. government. I don't think we need to be bailing out French companies. Let them bail out their own damn companies. Is Stellantis going under? What? A bridge? I don't think they're going under. I think Stellantis is doing very well throughout the world. Their profit structure is such that they can be around for a very, very long time. Do they care about the North American market quite as strongly as they used to? It doesn't appear as if they do, at least with what we're seeing from a corporate standpoint as to how they're helping to support their dealer body at the moment and their customer base. You can change all the executives you want, but until you change the basic equation, and that equation is of getting back to your affordable roots, which is what made Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram popular, was the fact that they were highly affordable in comparison to their peers. Until they get back to those roots, it doesn't matter who stays or goes.
I hear you loud and clear. I do think that if any government steps in, it should be the French. I agree with you there. It would not be the first time you're seeing one of the brands that Stellantis owns get a bailout. Chrysler was bailed out in 1979. We've had bailouts, obviously, after the great financial crisis. I want to pull up on the screen automaker profits broken down by quarter all the way through Q1 of this year. And Stellantis is relatively high on this list. You can see them. They're right above Suzuki and right below Lee Motors. And you can see their profit margin back at the beginning of 2020 was actually negative. They were losing some money. They've become immensely profitable. As early as in Q2 of 2023, they were making upwards of 13.8% profit margin. And you can see up at the top are Ferrari, Porsche, Toyota. Those are the most profitable automakers. So Stellantis still makes a boatload of money.
Yes.
Stellantis still makes a boatload of money, but it seems like they're really abandoning the U.S. market. And then you see all these executives, 3 executives, major executives, the freaking CEO is one of them, leaving the company all in 3 weeks. It's got to make you think that things are worse than they're appearing, because even though we talk to dealers all the time and they say it's terrible, it's got to be even worse if these people are saying, you know what, screw this, I'm going to do something different. I'll take my severance, I'll leave.
I'm not convinced that all these people have left on their own. And I'm not convinced the person that's leaving now, I believe the PRP said he was leaving to pursue other opportunities or something. which is a nice way of saying, okay, we fired his ass. He wasn't planning on leaving. It wasn't necessarily up to him. He had not woken up, say, Tuesday morning and said to himself, damn, bet you there's opportunities out there for me to pursue. It wasn't until his boss said to him, I don't know if you're aware of the fact, but there might be some opportunities out there for you to pursue. And we think it would be a good idea for you to start pursuing them. I remember once very early on in my career, and I went to my employer and I said, I think we need to put together a retirement plan. He said, what, you just started. What are you talking about? I said, well, I want you to know I'm retiring today. I've had enough of your nonsense. Sometimes you have to opt for early retirement. Sometimes it's better for you to do it than to wait for them to do it for you. Do I feel bad for these people? I'm pretty sure they've all been somewhat fairly highly compensated. And I'm pretty sure if they couldn't read the handwriting on the wall, then they had their eyes closed and they were asleep at the wheel.
It was just the other day we had a community member who works at a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership say that salespeople weren't showing up. When they were showing up, it was late. No one was making any money. So you see it happening at the dealer level.
Yes.
We obviously talk to dealers all the time, and they're telling us we have denied allocation for months. We don't want any more new vehicles from Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. And then you get these big headlines at the corporate level from the OEM. And it just makes you wonder if this story is going to get better or if it's going to get worse. Eventually, you've got to imagine the prices are going to go low enough and the marketing dollars are going to go high enough that they'll start selling vehicles again. I was just watching the NBA playoffs last night, Dad, and it was the Driven for Success was sponsored by Ram. I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen Driven for Success sponsored by Ram. Like, they're going to pony up more money to get rid of these vehicles. And I bet you we see even more heads roll at the corporate level as a result.
Was the headline Driven for Success ? Because perhaps it should have been, because obviously there hasn't been much success associated with the brand recently and their top executives. Driven out the door, that might have been a better one. It's
Driven to retirement. That could have worked.
Yes. Because who doesn't retire in their 50s? Most Americans don't, but if you're an executive, an upper level executive at a major automobile manufacturer that's headquartered in Europe, apparently you do, because you're given a choice. Either retire and pursue other opportunities, or spend more time with your family. Because the one, we're moving back to San Clemente because that feels like home.
I just want to ask the community at large, if you go into a CDJR dealership anytime soon, please report back what the vibe is. Were there lots of salespeople? Was it busy? Was it empty? Were there a lot of vehicles on the lot? Again, I was just in Toms River, New Jersey, driving through there. There were CDJR trucks, SUVs, cars everywhere. So I know from our experience walking around, or if you go watch the video on the CarEdge main channel today, Cadillac, we saw a ton of vehicles there, especially EVs. But I'm putting an ask out to the community, share what you're seeing in your neighborhood. Back to the automaker profits for a moment, Dad.
Yes.
Let's just look at this. This is absurd how much money these automakers make, and also how much these automakers can lose. Look at this. Ford, Mazda, Nissan. You got to scroll all the way down here to get to them. Ford making 3.8% operating margin, Mazda 3.6%, Nissan 2.1%. And then, of course, you can see a bunch of automakers that are losing boatloads of money and quite a few automakers that have gone under. I find it fascinating, some of the brands that are struggling mightily. For example, Nissan, they have a tremendous oversupply of inventory. And then as a corporation, they're also not making a bunch of money. Stellantis, on the other hand, who we rag on frequently and who has these executives fleeing, they still internationally make a boatload of money. They really, really do.
Stellantis is not hurting for money. Some of their executives will be in the near future, but Stellantis itself, they've got plenty of money. They have plenty of success. Um, it's it's just not here in North America at the moment, and the reason it's not is, as I said earlier, they went from being an affordable brand to a brand that no longer is anywhere near affordable. They have forsaken their customers.
Yeah.
And until somebody puts their foot down and says, we're not gonna just blow those people off anymore. Let's go back to our roots. Let's lower our pricing. Let's get back to the customer base that has supported us and kept us profitable for years. Until that happens, they're going to continue to lose market share. They're going to struggle to sell cars, and who knows who we'll read about next being leaving Stellantis.
And it's not just Stellantis. This is a really great comment from Drew. Kia and Hyundai did what CDJR was hoping to do, went up market, jacked up prices, and the customers rewarded them with massive growth. We are starting to see Kia and Hyundai dealers struggling to move inventory as well. That's another brand, and they have jacked up their prices. Similarly to Stellantis, there were two brands that during the pandemic increased their MSRPs over 50% when inflation increased 21%. Stellantis, Hyundai, Kia. So there are other brands that we think will have kind of a reckoning over the coming weeks and months. That being said, Hyundai and Kia make more money than Stellantis, and they have been more aggressive on incentives. Although we were just working on a Hyundai Ioniq 5 for a customer using the CarEdge car buying service. One of the dealers we reached out to, Dad, tried to charge $2,000 over MSRP on a vehicle that you can get $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 below MSRP. So there are still dealers trying to play all sorts of shady games on these vehicles.
It's like I said yesterday, you can't get what you don't ask for. It's almost like football. If you don't get caught for a penalty, you're not trying. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And many of these dealerships work that way. It just, unfortunately, still part and parcel of the business, no matter how much many dealers out there want to say that the business isn't nearly as slimy as it used to be. The slimy dealers that are out there, and they're still in big numbers, are slimier than they've ever been. So, the world hasn't changed that much.
Yeah, stay tuned. We've got some good content for our favorite segment of the show coming up soon. But for the moment, let's join the chat. Dad, we've got from Joshua Costa. Just joined the show, and I can't tell if Ray's rant is about an automotive CEO or Angel Hernandez. Did you hear about Angel Hernandez, Pops?
I've wondered for years how somebody apparently his eyes were more swollen than mine. And I've wondered for years how somebody with such poor eyesight could have continued to have a career for 30 years as a Major League Baseball umpire. He had no idea how big the plate was, how he was. So apparently.
Apparently. Let's keep moving here, Dad. Kyle, thank you, Kyle. Very kind contribution. Bought a 2024 Tundra, discovered transport damage post-purchase. Dealer did not disclose. Had I known, I would have negotiated more. Should I push for anything post-purchase or just be happy they'll fix it? Yeah, can you talk about this, Dad? Because this happens more frequently than most people know.
Well, are you saying that you discovered transport damage that had been fixed? Or are you saying that you discovered transport damage and nobody else had discovered it, and now that you've discovered it, and since the dealer didn't, they've agreed to fix it for you? So those are two completely different situations. If you discovered transport damage that had been fixed, if the fix was less than 3% of the manufacturer's suggested retail selling price, legally, they don't have to disclose it. It's not till it exceeds the 3% barrier that it has to be disclosed. So there's too many unanswered questions within your question for me to be able to help you. But if it was uh, transport damage that had been fixed, and it was less than the 3%, they didn't have to tell you. The fact that if that was the case and the fix wasn't up to what it should have been, and they're going to correct it, and they're doing what they should be doing.
Looks like that's the case, Dad. Yes, it was fixed incorrectly. So yeah, have them fix it, move on, good to go. And yeah, transport damage happens frequently. You used to have vehicles sitting at the port for days, weeks, waiting to get repairs done.
Yeah, if people would be shocked at the amount of vehicles that have had transportation damage. Whether it be transportation damage when it was on the boat coming over from Europe, or when it was on the train being trained somewhere, or whether it was on the truck, whatever. It is a much higher percentage than people realize. If it is transportation damage in shipping from the manufacturer's facility to their distribution points, they don't necessarily disclose it. Well, let me rephrase that. They don't disclose it to the dealers. So we could be getting cars in that had paint work done that we weren't told about. And my guess is it's probably somewhere around 30% of all vehicles have some type of transportation damage.
Wow. Yeah, and here you got Igor saying every 10th car being delivered. So we got somewhere between 10 and 30% from the guys who have done it for decades. Let's come here, Dad, to Mikey White. Thank you, Mikey White. I got $10,000 off plus $7,500 in tax incentives on my 2023 Ioniq 5. Exactly. Thank you, Mikey. And again, we literally, here at CarEdge, we offer on CarEdge.com, we offer a car buying service. We do it for people. You pay us, we do it all for you. And this dealer on an Ioniq 5 wanted $2,000 over MSRP. Get out of here.
Well, and the beauty of that is that, he quickly becomes a dealer non grata for our concierges to ever contact again.
100%. I've got that's stay tuned. We got some good content coming up on that from Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Test drove a used 2020 Jeep Wrangler. Dealership tacked on $1,700 accessory fee for, quote, anti-theft package to total out the door price. Is this normal? Oh, that is very normal. What do you say to that, Pops? How do we role play this one for Kyle to, negotiate it?
You say, hey, it's really nice stopping by. Excuse me, what? I appreciate the time you spent with me, but it's time for me to go now. Your anti-theft package caused you to have an anti-customer package, which means I ain't buying nothing from you. Typically, dealers don't install accessories on pre-owned cars. It is just an abject money grab. And if they're going to treat you that way from Jump Street, well, then jump the hell up and run the hell out. Show them your sprinter stance, and don't even wait for the starter to go on your mark, get set, go. Just get in your sprinter stance and go.
There you go, Kyle. And we've got here, Dad, from Grumble. Thank you, Grumble. Interested in concierge, but I can't see if available in California. Available in all 50 states, folks. 100% available in all 50 states. Let us help you out. Grumble. Doesn't matter where you're located.
Is it available in all 50 states and the District of Columbia?
And the District of Columbia. Kyle, glad we were able to help you out before. Thank you for the kind contribution. Yeah. Dad, we had some of the community members share with us what they're seeing at their local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealerships. Let's take a peek at that. Igor says, I was there yesterday at my local dealer that I used to own, and it's all caps dead. From JMac, the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer near me is adding on to the showroom. Got to find somewhere to put those extra trucks. Yes. Cars. From Do Not Redeem, Memorial Day Dodge Ram had one person in there when my daughter went.
Oh my.
From Cynthia, loaded with vehicles at 2 dealerships in Cummings, Georgia. From JT442, my local CDJR has 0 advertised incentives with BMW pricing. Wonder why those executives are retiring. From US, the Mini Dude, at our local CDJR dealership, there are so many Dodge and Ram vehicles. They are storing them in the Chevrolet lot, and they are selling, nor are they lowering. They're not selling, and they're not lowering prices.
Wow.
From Jimmy C here, plenty of hybrid Pacificas on all the dealers' lots here in Boston, even with the $7,500 tax credit. I'll wait longer. And Gerard telling us they actually have extra vehicles sitting in abandoned parking lots. One more from Michael in the Phoenix area. I've been working CDJR dealerships for a 2024 Ram 2500. Thank you for the help. Dealerships are not lively. Some dealers, not many customers. So there's your lay of the land for that brand. No wonder executives, three major executives in 3 weeks leaving the company, and they still make a boatload of money. It's absolutely wild.
Yes.
Let's come here and help out Frankie real quick, and then we're going to switch gears to our favorite segment of the show. Thank you, Frankie. Hi, my question is, when searching for an electric used vehicle, is there a filter where I can see which cars have what range? Keep up the great work. That is a fantastic idea. We do not have that on CarEdge.com. Do you know of a car search that gives you like filter by vehicle range?
I do not.
Oh, your poor eye. Frankie, hopefully someone here in the chat can point you in the right direction. I really don't know. That's something that I'll take back to our team and see if there's a way for us to potentially have that and add that on the CarEdge car search. I'm sorry that we can't be more helpful, but really appreciate your kind contribution. You ready for it, Pops?
Let me see if I can read the teleprompter. No. Really? You gotta be kidding me. And by the way, before we do, can I say I went to the eye doctor yesterday. Okay. They squeezed me in. And you know, like all good eye doctors, he looked at my eye. Your eye looks fine. And he came to the same conclusion that everybody else has come to. Oh, it looks like you have a sty in your eye. I didn't need to come here for that. I knew that. That's why I came here. I was the one that told you I had the damn sty before I showed the hell up. But he was kind enough to prescribe some drops and some what is a prescription for an antibiotic. He said, don't use it unless your eye's worse in the morning. Well, my eye was worse in the morning. But it appears, ladies and gentlemen, as if I have a giant ass sty in my eye, suffering from gas yet again.
We will lead tomorrow's show off with the injury report so that you can get that out of the way bright and early in the show. So stay tuned for tomorrow's injury report. See which company sponsors tomorrow's injury report. And let's get a few bounces in real quick. And then really, you've got to be kidding me.
You know, actually, I'm even though my eye doesn't look better, or it actually feels better. It doesn't hurt as much. It's not as tender to the touch.
Good.
Oh, and really, damn it, you gotta be kidding me. Is that what you wanted me to say?
Posted this over on X. Go follow at Chefska. This is a customer we were actually helping, Dad. Pre-owned 2021 Cadillac XT4 meets the customer's requirements. Online advertised price, $24,995. We've done this show for a long time. We've done this segment for a long time. I don't know if you can even read the small text on the screen. What do you think the ultimate out-the-door price was on this vehicle, Pops?
The out-the-door price, $32,817. How'd I do?
$36,470.
Wow.
So let's zoom in here and we can break this down. You've got your online advertised price of $24,995, SWAT GPS 3 for $2,495, Finish Touch for $895, Clear Guard for $895, Converter Shield for $495. Dock fee is only $85 because we're in California, but your service contract is $3,495.
You know what the Finish Touch is?
What is the Finish Touch, Dad? Be careful, please. You have a tendency to offend people.
They're just a little more gentle than normal.
That was good. That was good. You know what? That was good. That was not as abrasive as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. The Finish Touch will be just a little more gentle than normal. If you want us to take that Finish Touch off, it could hurt.
This is the type of crap we see from dealers, man. This is like every single day. This is what we're running into.
Yeah. And then, and you know, I say it every day. Dealers bust my chops because I bust their chops. We don't operate like this anymore. Dealers out there, Really? Really? How many times a day do we encounter it? So if we're encountering it every day, you think the vast majority of the buying public out there isn't encountering it every day? If you are so delusional in the car business that you don't think this crap happens, take your head out of your butt, okay? It's just, this happens every day more than you realize. And sometimes you might work at a dealership where you think it doesn't happen, and it very well might be happening there as well. It is just pure nonsense. Advertise the price you want to sell the car at, sell the car at the price you advertised it at, and move on with life. Stop jerking people around. God.
All right, we're going to get them on a roll here, folks. Let's keep it going. So then the team shared this one with me, Dad. This dealer advertises their 2021 Toyota RAV4 Prime for $26,651. The catch here is they're actually advertising a finance price that reflects a $1,995 down payment. And there's another dealer that's doing this as well. Internet price, $16,695. Stellar deal. You're saving $1,890. It's priced better than 80% of similar vehicles, the website says.
Yes.
A few things you should know in the disclaimer. The internet price is reflective of a $1,995 down payment. What?
Yeah, why, wouldn't life be easier if you didn't have to put that nonsense in a disclaimer? Wouldn't it be easier if the disclaimer read the price plus tax, title, and license fees? I mean, stop with the BS. Just stop. If all dealers stopped, it would be easier for customers. It would be easier for dealerships. It would be easier for salespeople. Just advertise the price you're actually literally going to sell the vehicle for, plus tax, title, and license fee. Not plus tax, title, license fee, and all kinds of dealer installed crap that you didn't or would never want. Okay, it doesn't have to be this difficult. Pull yourselves out of the 1950s, 60s, and 70s and move into the 2020s. Damn it! It doesn't have to be a charade. We're not playing charades here. As a dealership owner, if somebody tried to pull this crap on you, you'd be the most pissed off person in the world. Well, then why are you trying to do it to your customers? Why do you think your customers would ever come back to you? They wouldn't. They shouldn't. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that they don't. That's why
in our
opinion, in my opinion, in our legal staff's opinion, in the opinion of the world, damn it.
In the opinion of the world. 100%. We built out a car dealer review platform back on CarEdge.com. Just Google search CarEdge dealer reviews. And trust me, our team writes reviews for the dealers we interact with. And in our opinion, we don't really support those that play these types of games. Absolute lunacy, Pops. From Kyle H. Thank you, Kyle. Zach looks like Gerard Thumb's little brother. Zach looks like Gerard Thumb's little brother. I don't know who Gerard Thumbs is, but
that makes two of us. But if he does, well, I'm sure Gerard Thumb is pretty damn good looking.
Oh, you're very kind.
Or his little brother's pretty damn good looking. Yeah.
Question, Dad. See it here in the chat from a few people. Is it legal? What I just shared, like Scott's asking, is that even legal? What I was demonstrating and showing there, the internet price includes $2,000 removed in case you put a down payment. Is that legal?
Is it legal? Well, they put it in the fine print, and the fine print, and it was the first thing in the fine print. And the fine print wasn't so fine that even I couldn't read it with one bad eye. So is it legal? I am sure that they are operating within the confines of their state that they're doing businesses within the confines of that state's advertising laws. So the question isn't, is it legal? The question is it ethical? And the answer to that question, in my humble opinion, is that it's not. Your business should not be built on deception. That's the first mistake you've made as the business owner. That's why do you want to run a business that way?
Yeah.
I'll keep asking that question until I get an answer one day.
I will remind everyone, caredge.com/manifesto. I am super proud. My dad and I wrote this. I guess I wrote it, but you reviewed it 4 years ago now.
Yes.
Go read the CarEdge manifesto. I'm so proud. Not 4 years. Okay. July of 21. So, that's 3 years ago now. Like, this is who we are. This is how we make money. This is why we're telling you all this. Like, the opposite, the polar opposite of how the auto industry typically works. I completely agree with you.
Except for our clickbait headlines. Other than
that's the only. Yeah. I need to add that to the manifesto. Why we do that, but anyway, we've done videos on that in the past. I'm not going to go too far down that path. From Aaron, thank you, Aaron. F80 M3s. Can you talk about the market for used luxury vehicles? It seems to have fallen off a cliff. Ray, feel better soon. I actually haven't looked at the latest Black Book data, Dad, but I know used car values have come down significantly, especially luxury vehicles that typically depreciate more. Do you have any sense or pulse on what's going on?
I would be surprised if an M3 has dropped dramatically in value. But then again, I don't have my fingers on the pulse of the market as much as I used to. But I would think there are members of our team, especially on the community forum, that would help. But sporty cars, I think that qualifies as a premium sporty car. What do you think? It's down not very much.
Yeah, no. Anyway, Black Book data kind of seems inconclusive, but I actually think we've seen significant declines. I know the data shows this in used car prices, so I wouldn't be surprised if luxury cars are depreciating faster than traditional vehicles. But yeah, I would post that over on the community forum. There are like the other M5 customers or M5 prospective owners that can share their perspective with you.
It was an M3.
M3, excuse me. M5s are good cars too. Actually, I don't know if good's the right word. Fun.
Yeah.
It's probably the operative.
You know what? And we rented what was it, M3 competition?
Yeah, neither of us particularly liked it.
That was the roughest riding car. I mean, it was. I get that it has all this power. I don't know. I don't know how anybody could put a lot of miles on one, because it was just it was so loud and it was so bumpy, and it was just like not for me. It was just so not for me.
Let's help Dice Game real quick. What is the destination and handling fee, and should I fight to opt out of this charge looking at a Honda? And while you're answering this, Dad, I want to show everyone back on caredge.com under resources, go to guides. Scroll down a little bit. There's a search here. Dealer fees. Navigating car dealer fees, your ultimate guide. Or you could just Google search this. This is 100% the resource to look at, folks, is this one right here. So please, please, please take a peek at that. But Pops, destination and handling fee, should I fight it?
On a brand new car, it's part and parcel of the MSRP. It is the second from the bottom as far as the last thing that's listed as a cost to both the dealer and the customer on the manufacturer's suggested retail price. It has the car, then it has the destination and handling that it took to get it there, and then it has your total MSRP that includes the destination and handling. So you're not going to negotiate that as a separate line item. You're going to negotiate off of the total MSRP of the vehicle. How'd I do?
There you go, folks. And Google search, like I said, car dealer fees, space CarEdge, and our guide will be right there. All right, Dad, we will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Tune in to see who sponsors tomorrow's injury report. Very, very, very fascinated to see. Hopefully I'm not bringing any injuries to the table, but I imagine your eye will still be stylified by the time we go live tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure. Like I said, it doesn't look better today. It looks better than the picture I sent you this morning when I first got up.
Indeed.
And it was like glued shut when I first got up.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Yeah, so it's actually feeling better. Still looks crappy. Still unbelievably swollen. But hopefully by tomorrow the swelling will go down, and I'll be looking a little more. Well, I'll never look normal, will I? But I'll be looking a little more normal for me. How about that?
100%, folks. If we can help you out with anything, our end of month promotion ends soon. Check it out at caredge.com. Dad, I love you. You look great, even with the sty.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow, folks. Enjoy the afternoon.
As you well know, I think very highly of you as well, bordering on love. Okay, I'll say it. I love you too, as
Thank you,
well.
sir. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.